She slapped his shoulder. You don't know. We all heard the recording. Your voice, your wicked laugh. Are you mad? You disgraced this family. Mommy, please. She shouted over him. You brought shame to this church. To this family. With a pregnant bride and your cousin-in-law. Marcus rubbed his face. I didn't mean for this to happen. I thought I could fix it before the wedding. Pastor Ben sat down quietly, still holding the Bible, his head bowed. It was the first time in 20 years of officiating weddings that he had seen a bride take down her own groom on the altar. One of the elders walked up to him slowly. Pastor, what do we do? Pastor Ben lifted his head. We pray. At the same time, Sophia tried to sneak out through the side entrance. She kept her head down, holding the edge of her gown, her hands shaking. She had lost all color in her face. But just before she reached the door, two women blocked her path. You're going nowhere, one of them said. After what you did, you still have the nerve to walk away like nothing happened. The other added, you didn't mean what? To sleep with your cousin's fiancé the night before her wedding? Sophia looked around helplessly. Please, let me go. I didn't mean. You didn't mean what? To sleep with your cousin's fiancé the night before her wedding? Sophia's eyes filled with tears. It was a mistake. The first woman laughed bitterly. A mistake that lasted all night in room 712. Sophia tried to push past them, but more people had surrounded her now. Some were shouting. Others were recording. She knew she couldn't escape. Meanwhile, outside, Elara's father came up behind her and placed his hand gently on her shoulder. My daughter, he said, let's go home. Elara turned to him slowly. I'm not done yet. He looked confused. But what else is left? You've said everything. You've already walked out. Elara's eyes didn't blink. There's one more thing. She turned around and began walking back toward the church. Her father followed. Elara, are you sure? I'm sure, she said quietly. As she reached the door, the crowd stepped aside. Even those who didn't know what was going on moved away to make space for her. Her gown flowed behind her like a storm returning. She stepped back into the church. The silence was loud. Marcus saw her and took a step forward. Elara, please. I know what I did was wrong, but don't walk away like this. We can fix this. Elara didn't stop walking until she was back at the altar. She looked straight at Pastor Ben. Sir, may I speak one last time? He nodded slowly and gave her the mic again. Elara turned to the guests. I want to say something, not just for me, but for every woman who has ever been lied to. For every woman who carried a man's child while he carried secrets. For every woman who trusted love and was paid with betrayal. She turned to Marcus. I gave you everything. My heart, my time, my body, and now my child. I stood by you when others doubted you. I defended you when people warned me. And still, you laughed behind my back with another woman. She looked around at everyone. But I will not cry. Not here. Not today. Today, I choose myself. Then she turned and looked directly at Sophia, who had been forced to sit down in shame. Blood should protect, not betray. You weren't just my cousin. You were my friend, my sister, and you knew everything. Still, you did this. Sophia lowered her head. Elara turned back to the pastor with respect. Sir, this wedding cannot continue. The pastor nodded slowly. It is your right. Elara took a deep breath, held her belly again, and looked straight into the camera one last time. I may walk out of here alone, but I walk out whole, not broken, not ashamed. I am still a bride, just not to a liar. And then, with the mic in her hand, she walked down the aisle once more. But this time, the guests stood and clapped. One by one, the sound grew louder, faster, stronger. A few women wiped their eyes. Some whispered prayers. Even the choir joined in, singing softly as she passed. I am strong. I am brave. I am rising today. Outside, the media had arrived. A reporter rushed forward. Miss Alara, are you still going to marry Mr. Liam? Alara looked straight at the camera and said, I came here in a wedding dress, but I leave in my power. She entered the car. Her father followed. Let's go home, daughter. The door closed. The engine started. The crowd stood back. And slowly, the car drove off, leaving behind flowers, decorations, and a ruined groom. Back in the church, Marcus collapsed into the front pew. His mother was pacing beside him. I warned you about women like Sophia, didn't I? Marcus rubbed his face. Mommy, I didn't know it would go this far. She shouted. Didn't know. So you thought she would never find out with her brains? You think all women are fools? A church elder came to them. Please, leave this place. This is God's house, not a place for shame. Mrs. Davies helped Marcus to his feet. They walked out with their heads low. Sophia was nowhere to be found. Somehow, she had managed to escape during the commotion, but her name would not escape people's lips for many months to come. Later that evening, Alara sat on her bed, barefoot. Her dress folded beside her. Her hair was loose. Her makeup was half-wiped. Her body was tired, but her eyes were alive. She held her belly gently and spoke softly. It's just you and me now. We're going to be okay. Her phone buzzed. It was her godfather, Uncle Quasi. She picked up. Alara, his deep voice came. I've spoken with my people. My investment in Marcus's business is withdrawn. His accounts will freeze in 2 days. Alara nodded. Thank you. He paused. And I'm proud of you. You did what most women fear to do. You stood up. Alara smiled faintly. I had no choice. No, he said. You had a choice, and you chose yourself. She ended the call. Then she looked at the wedding invitation still pinned on her wall. She took it down slowly and dropped it in the trash. The next morning, Alara opened her eyes slowly. For a second, the room felt strange, quiet, still. No decorators rushing around. No aunties shouting from the backyard. No loud gospel music. Just silence. She sat up in bed and rubbed her stomach gently. Her baby kicked once, like a reminder that she wasn't alone. Her gown from the day before was hanging quietly by the door, no longer glowing. The bouquet had already been taken apart and thrown in the trash. Her veil lay crumpled on the chair. She had walked out of her wedding yesterday. And today, the world would know. Alara picked up her phone. 10 missed calls from Marcus. 14 from Sophia. Messages were pouring in non-stop. She opened Instagram. Her name was trending. Hashtag Alara the Brave. Hashtag Room 712. Hashtag The Altar Bombshell. Someone had posted a video of her speech at the church, and it had already crossed over 200,000 views. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but she felt one thing clearly. Peace. In a hotel across town, Marcus sat on the edge of a hotel bed, his head in his hands. His eyes were red and swollen. He hadn't slept. His phone buzzed again. Another call from his lawyer. He ignored it. Then came a message. Your investor has officially withdrawn all funds. Your company's accounts are frozen. We need to meet now. Marcus groaned. How did everything fall apart in one day, he whispered to himself. His business was in trouble. His wedding was ruined. His reputation was burnt to ashes. And Sophia had stopped answering his calls since last night. He stood up and paced around the room. He wanted to scream. Later that afternoon, he finally gathered courage and called Elara again. This time, she picked. "Hello," her voice came. "Elara," he said, sounding tired. "Please, can we talk? There's nothing to talk about. I know I hurt you. I know I destroyed everything, but please, I didn't plan any of this to happen." "You're right," she said quietly. "You didn't plan for it to come out. You planned to lie, to use me, to take everything. I swear, Elara, I never meant to use you." "Then why did you say it? Why did you laugh about me with another woman the night before our wedding?" I was drunk. I was confused. I was stressed." "Save it." There was silence. Then Elara continued. "I carried your child. I trusted you with my life, and you gave your body to my cousin. You planned a future where you controlled me like property. I was scared." "Okay," he said, his voice cracking. "You knew exactly what you were doing, Marcus," Elara replied, her voice steady and clear. "And now you'll live with the consequences. Don't call me again. Don't try to contact me. This conversation is over." She hung up, her finger firm on the screen. The silence that followed was a relief, a deep, cleansing quiet that settled over her like a comforting blanket. She placed her hand on her belly again, feeling the subtle flutter within. "Just us," she whispered, "and we're going to build something beautiful." The aftermath. The next few weeks were a blur of activity. The story of "The Altar Bombshell" had gone viral, propelled by the raw emotion of Elara's public declaration. News channels picked it up, social media dissected every detail, and for a short while, Elara's name became synonymous with courage and self-respect. Support poured in from unexpected corners, messages from women around the world, offers of assistance, and even a few book deals. Elara handled it all with quiet grace. She gave a few interviews, always emphasizing the importance of protecting oneself and one's child, and then retreated from the spotlight to focus on her pregnancy and her future. Marcus, on the other hand, found his world crumbling. Uncle Quasey's swift withdrawal of investment had a domino effect. His company's accounts were indeed frozen, and without that capital, his business quickly spiraled into bankruptcy. Legal battles over the failed wedding and his defunct company consumed his days. His once pristine reputation was in tatters, replaced by public ridicule and condemnation. He tried to salvage relationships, but most people, including his own family, struggled to forgive his public betrayal. Even his mother, Mrs. Davies, who had initially defended him, found it hard to look at him without a deep sense of shame. Sophia, too, faced severe repercussions. Her family disowned her, unable to stomach the betrayal of their own kin. Her social circle vanished, replaced by whispers and judgmental stares. She left town shortly after the wedding, seeking anonymity elsewhere, her once glittering life reduced to a cautionary tale. A new beginning. As Elara's due date approached, she moved into a smaller, cozier house, a place that felt like a true home, free from the echoes of past deceptions. She spent her days nesting, preparing for the arrival of her baby, and embracing the newfound peace that had settled over her life. One sunny afternoon, sitting in her rocking chair by the window, a letter arrived. It was from Barrister Aisha, congratulating her and enclosing a final document, the official and irreversible annulment of the marriage license. Elara smiled, a genuine, unburdened smile. A few weeks later, surrounded by her loving family and a few trusted friends who had stood by her side, Elara gave birth to a healthy baby girl. She named her Zola, meaning calm or tranquil. Holding her daughter for the first time, Elara felt an overwhelming surge of love and certainty. This was her true beginning. She knew there would be challenges ahead, raising Zola alone, but she also knew she was capable. She had faced her greatest fear and walked away with her dignity intact. Every touch, every coo, every tiny breath from Zola was a testament to Alara's strength and her unwavering commitment to a life built on truth and self-worth. The whispers of the altar bombshell eventually faded, replaced by stories of Alara's resilience. She had indeed walked into her freedom, not as a broken bride, but as a queen in her own right, ready to build a new, beautiful kingdom for herself and her precious daughter. What do you think Alara's biggest challenge will be as she raises Zola? The road ahead, challenges for Alara and Zola. While Alara found profound peace in her decision, the path of a single mother, particularly one whose story became a national spectacle, would present unique hurdles. One of the most immediate challenges would be the inevitable gossip and scrutiny. Even as her story inspired many, there would always be those who questioned her choices, offered unsolicited advice, or whispered behind her back. This constant low hum of public opinion could be draining, especially on days when she was already exhausted from the demands of new motherhood. She'd need to develop an even thicker skin and a strong support system to shield herself and, eventually, Zola from the negative echoes of the past. Another significant hurdle would be the financial strain and practicalities of single parenthood. While Uncle Kwesi's support was invaluable, Alara would be solely responsible for providing for Zola. This could mean returning to work sooner than she might have preferred, balancing childcare with professional ambitions, and making tough financial decisions. The emotional and physical toll of being the sole provider and caregiver, without a partner to share the load, could be immense. Furthermore, as Zola grew, Alara would face the delicate task of explaining her origins. How would she tell her daughter about Marcus, about the very public cancellation of their wedding, and about Sophia's betrayal? She'd need to find a way to communicate this difficult history in an age-appropriate manner, ensuring Zola understood the truth without carrying the burden of her parents' drama or developing a distorted view of love and relationships. This would require immense emotional intelligence and a commitment to honest, yet protective, communication. Finally, Alara might grapple with feelings of isolation or loneliness, despite her initial sense of liberation. While she chose herself, society often frames single motherhood as a deficit. There might be moments when she yearned for a partner to share small victories, to offer comfort during late-night feedings, or simply to witness the beauty of Zola's growth. Building a robust new community of friends and support networks, distinct from her past, would be crucial for her long-term well-being and happiness. Ultimately, Alara's journey would be a testament to her unyielding spirit, demonstrating that even from the ashes of betrayal, a woman can forge a life filled with purpose, peace, and an abundance of love for her child.